This is my K'NEX amusement park, K'NEX Dominion, and today I'm going to be adding 2 coasters and 2 flat rides to the park. If you have any name or ride suggestions, please let me know, as this park is getting quite full. But before we can start building,
Alright, so I got more K'NEX.
in the first box, it looks like I got the K'NEX Big Ball Factory set, which has over 4,000 parts. And the other is obviously a Screaming Serpent set. I found both these sets on Facebook Marketplace, and they've definitely been some of the cheapest K'NEX that I've bought. Anyway, let's actually start building something. This is my Gerstlauer Eruo-Fighter that I started building in the last episode, and with my new parts, I can finally finish it.
Alright, so now I can finish this coaster. I think I'm going to get rid of the dive loop because it's just going to be way too big for the scale of this amusement park. So hopefully I can figure out some other elements to add in its place.
My idea was to have a twisted first drop. I used box supports for this to try something different and for extra strength. I also used stiff gray rods instead of green flexies. This is to ensure a smoother track, and it's also a lot easier to shape. For me, it was easier to put on the outer layer of tubing with the extra reinforcements on the middle of the cross ties. After I put the tubing on, I tested it with a 5-car train. Constantly doing testing really helps when building. I then built up more track with flexies because this is going to be for the top of the lift and the lift hill. I again used the track to help visualize how it will look and show me where to build the supports. I then continued to build the supports for the lift and managed to get the top done so I could do a test. All that was left to do for the lift was the lift itself. It wasn't that hard, as it was just some straight track and a chain. The lift is also super strong, it ain't going anywhere. At the bottom you can see how the chain works. I also had to add a rubber band to the car for the chain dog so that it would be able to engage vertically. At the bottom there's another horizontal chain with a red connector to push the car up and onto the vertical section. Now it's time to finish the layout. I wanted to have another version, so I thought it would be cool to have a barrel roll with a helix to finish the coaster. It didn't work, but here's some cool clips of it. I then tore apart the barrel roll and went for a different inversion. It's kind of a mix between a corkscrew and a zero-G roll because of the way the entry and exit are shaped. After that, the track simply goes right into the station where the brakes will be. For now, I'm not building the stations for any of my rides. That will be in a future video. As you see here, there's a long horizontal chain. There are 2 of the red connectors on this chain, which means that since they're spaced equally, I can run 3 trains without them colliding or stacking. Here you can kinda see what I mean. This also means the coaster has semi-realistic block zones. Finally, I redid all the tubing so it was all the same color. This did make this element here a little bit off, but I easily fixed it with more gray rods. Here is the final coaster. I will have more close-up shots at the end of the video, so stay tuned. This is a Scrambler. It's quite popular and shouldn't be that hard to build. This is everything we need. I'm going to start with the base. There's some gears that will spin a large gear in the future, and a gray rod through the middle. Believe it or not, this rod will not move at all. Building up, I add some more gears and spacers. Next, we need 2 of these large bases. Yes, I know normal scramblers only have 3, but having 4 is a lot easier to build. Next, I connect them with 4 blue rods and add some more random parts to those same rods. As of now, this thing does not move, so let's fix that. How we do that is with these red rods. They go through the gray 45-degree connectors and slide through the spokes on the big gear. They touch in a way that when the gear spins, it will make the rod spin, thus making the whole ride spin. Now let's add the seats, starting with the shaft that they will connect to. Now for the seats. All that they are is 90-degree connectors with 3 yellow rods and some gray connectors for the seat. Now we can continue to work our way up, placing more gears and these gray rods for more support. For making the seat spin, we need 4 of these gray rods with a gear on each end. These slide on to the gray rod and connect to the other yellow gears. Finishing up the ride, I put 1 final gear on, some spacers, and a couple extra reinforcements. The only way that I was able to make this ride function was with a drill. It's really heavy, so even having multiple motors and gear ratios just wasn't working. So this is the easiest solution.
So how does this ride actually work? Well, the yellow gear down here will spin, and as you saw earlier, these red rods here, they get pushed basically by like the spokes of the gear, like that part there, and then that makes the whole thing spin, except for this center gray rod, which is stuck in place. These 2 yellow gears here are then connected to the gray rod here, which makes them not spin. And since the whole thing is spinning, these gears here are spinning around. And then since the gears here, these aren't moving, then it makes these spin, which then rotates these.
The next ride that I built is a chair swing. The base for this is quite similar to my Skyflyer ride, with them having the same base and tower design. The only difference is the extra green rods for more color. The swings themselves are quite simple. There's 2 layers, each with 8 swings. The bottom layer has green connectors, and the top has black clips which will slide into those green connectors. The seats are made from chain and 90-degree connectors that dangle from red rods. I would have used the smaller chain, but I need to save my micro pieces for a future project. I may also slow this ride down with gear ratio, but for now I'm undecided. And for the last ride of the video, my cousin helped me build a small family coaster. I didn't record any of the building process, so here's a run through of the layout. It starts with a short lift and a left turn into a tunnel. Then there's a drop down into an airtime hill. The track then weaves its way through the supports and into a barrel roll. Finally, there's a helix into where the station will be. And that's it for this update. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode where I'm going to build Green Lantern, an intimate Zaxpin which is considered to be one of the worst roller coasters ever built. And for some reason, there's literally one being built in 2025. What in the world? Anyway, thanks for watching and here's some clips of the Euro.